You're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast, the #1 rated robot-related podcast in northeastern Ontario.
Hey everybody! Welcome to episode 161 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for today, Sunday, July 16th, 2017, episode 161.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Hello, I am C-3PO Human Cyborg Relations.
I am Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside?
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
You're not quite, human, are you?
No, sir. I'm an android.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Counterfeit, facsimile, replica.
We need some sort of robot. Ah, crap! I'm some sort of robot.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
By your command.
I'm here, it's me, Sean, your ever-present host with my ever-present co-host, Josh, and we've got Katie and Shane. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing well.
Alright, I'm done using my carnival voice. The carnival's in town. I just figured I'd get that out there, and now I'm done. And we'll go back to the regular scheduled program.
Alright.
So everybody's good?
Yes.
Yep. Everything's wonderful.
I went to the carnival.
How was it?
It was so much fun. A lot of the rides are spinny rides.
Yes.
Still worth it to go. Makes you feel a little sick, though.
Huh.
Sarah went again last night. She was sick last night. It was not good.
Did you go on all the spinning rides?
A lot, yes.
Yeah. All except for like 2 rides are spinny rides.
Cool. Alright, so today episode comes out on July 16th, but we're recording it on July 15th, so that means we will not know who the 13th Doctor Who is, and we won't have gotten to see episode 1, season 7, Game of Thrones. Both things that are happening on Sunday. And yesterday was July 14th. Did anybody see Con Air?
Nope.
Nope.
No. I didn't watch it either.
I worked all day.
You worked all day?
Yeah.
You're a hard-working man.
I had to work my normal shift, and then I had to go strip the floor. Because Danny, we all remember Danny, he couldn't do it last weekend.
Oh, so you had to do it this weekend?
Yeah, and it has to be done, so...
Right.
Alright.
Okay, so that's what happened. Alright, so let's get right into the show. Episode 161 is very exciting, all kinds of news.
Yep.
Yes, there is. So we'll start off with the sad news to get that out of the way. Following an unexpected incident on the set of The Walking Dead, stuntman John Bernecker passed away as a result of injuries sustained in an accident.
Oh.
That's very sad.
Yes, he was a veteran stuntman in the industry. He was taken to the Atlanta Medical Center on Wednesday after he fell more than 20 feet onto a concrete floor.
Oh my glory, that's not a good way to go.
No, I would say it's not.
That's terrible.
He was an accomplished stuntman working on several films in the Atlanta area. Most recently, his work extended to Dwayne Johnson's Rampage, Marvel's Black Panther, and Escape Plan 2 Hades. There are over 90 stunt credits on Bernecker's resume, spanning across an 8-year career. Actually, AMC has temporarily halted production on Season 8 in the aftermath of the tragedy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that was good of them. And then all the cast and crew tweeted a bunch of thoughts and stuff.
Be a little heartless to keep going.
Well, yeah, I would say
the
so.
show must go on, though.
Eventually. But
I'm okay with extending
stop for a little
condolences, but the whole thoughts and prayers things weirds me out.
Yeah, I saw a meme the other day, thoughts and prayers. Yeah, let's send that out instead of actually doing anything.
And they're like, but I'm drowning, can't you just help me? Thoughts and prayers.
As you take a picture
But
for
yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Right,
no.
yes. So there's that. So that's sad, but Walking Dead people are going to San Diego Comic-Con in 2 weeks. So we'll see what they have to say about that then.
Hopefully nobody will ask them about that.
People are going to ask him about that. People are insensitive.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
But they're probably friends.
And his wife worked on the set too.
Yeah.
So she was there.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think... That's not nice.
No, it's not good.
If you're going to San Diego Comic-Con, don't ask them about that.
All right, so moving on from that, remember last week we were talking about Netflix recommendations, and you were talking about Castlevania.
Yes.
Well, I watched it.
And?
I enjoyed it immensely.
All right, good. Did you get a chance to check it out?
I saw like the first 15 minutes of the first episode, and then I had to go to work. But I fully intend to watch the rest of it because it looked amazing.
I have a question about it.
Go ahead.
Is it child-friendly?
No!
Not even a little bit.
No!
Like, lots?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yes.
a little bit lots?
Like babies get bisected.
That's not cool.
It's violent. But it's enjoyable. It's fun.
My friend Sherry loves it.
Not child friendly in the least.
Yeah, our kids watch stuff that is technically not child friendly, but it's not that not child friendly.
Hard R.
Yeah, essentially.
I like watching stuff with the kids.
You can't watch this with the kids. Well, you could, but I don't recommend it.
No, I don't want to warp the children.
Any more than they already are.
I don't know how they wound up that way, though.
Some you can watch children that I started watching. The new Voltron on Netflix.
Legendary Defenders.
Yeah!
So good.
I love it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you watching it without Sarah?
Yes.
You're supposed to watch it with Sarah.
She wasn't interested.
Oh.
How could you not be? It's
I
giant
told
fighting
her
robots.
she needed
Exactly.
to watch it.
Hello.
I told her she would like it. She hasn't seen Avatar yet, so I had nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, she's not. She's... I don't know. When it comes to animated shows and anime and stuff like that, she likes more of like the slice of life kind of stuff.
But she would like Voltron. It's like slice of life in space, but also with giant robot battles.
Right? It doesn't get better than that.
Just explain it that way. Maybe she'll be into it.
I'll try.
And speaking of animation, you were telling me all about Disney stuff and D23 and
Yes.
stuff.
D23 is basically their version of Comic-Con. It's going on right now. Mark Hamill was just inducted into the Disney Legend Hall of Fame, as well as Carrie Fisher got a posthumous induction in as well.
Posthumous.
Yes, that's what I meant to say.
Not posthumous, because that's after funny.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely not that.
No. Not the other one, right?
I mean, she was funny.
She was funny.
So, I mean, technically, it works, I guess. Too soon. Okay.
A little bit. Stan Lee, you said, got inducted?
Stan Lee also got inducted. Harrison Ford did not.
But Oprah Winfrey did.
Oprah Winfrey is in.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
A car for everybody.
So we went down to the list of who's in, and what surprised me the most, and Katie the most, James Earl Jones is not in.
James Earl Jones is not in. Tim Allen is in. Tom Hanks is not.
That's so wrong.
Right?
Well,
Woody is clearly the heart of that story.
He is.
Tom Hanks is America's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, arguably so is Tim Allen.
Well, yeah, but he's like
No.
the quirky, blows part of your house up dad.
And Tim Allen was not on Bosom Buddies.
No.
If you catch that reference.
James Earl Jones.
George has recently admitted that when he hired David Prowse, he thought that was his Darth Vader. This guy who's over 6 foot, 6.5 feet tall, and fits in that uniform, that costume, with a slight Scottish accent, and not a bass, but more like a tenor. And it's a very effective voice, but George thought he wanted a, pardon the expression, darker voice. So he hires a guy born in Mississippi, raised in Michigan, who stutters, and that's the voice, and that's me. I lucked out, from all these so-called handicaps. I lucked out to get a job that paid me $7,000, and I thought that was good money, and I got to be a voice on a movie. It was great fun to be a part of that.
Is the father voice.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's Darth Vader. Arguably not the best father.
He had his moments.
But then also he's Mufasa, who is a great father, even though he wasn't a father for very long.
Oh, still too soon.
No.
And he was Zahadum.
Zahadum?
Yeah, from Conan.
Walk this way, my child.
Yeah, see, when you say Zahadum, I think Babylon 5.
If you go to Zahadum, you will die.
No, okay,
Conan.
so Conan, yeah. He was the snake guy who had a cult of followers.
Oh, I know, I've seen it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he called everybody his child, and then they'd kill themselves because they're stupid. Never join a cult. Unless it's one of mine.
Never follow a person who can turn himself into a giant snake.
Why not?
That just seems like a bad idea.
That seems like a great idea.
Yeah.
Not if he's constantly calling for human sacrifice.
Yeah.
So long as he's not calling for my human sacrifice, it's all cool.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't know. If they're calling for human sacrifice, I say don't do it. But also, if it's just based on whether or not he can turn into a giant snake, I wouldn't want to be against him.
That's true.
Although snakes are fairly easy to defeat, you just, make them cold, and they go to sleep.
Exactly.
But Conan's not smart, so...
Like, if there was a giant snake, and he was up here, I feel like it would be fairly easy to defeat.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be able to keep its body temperature up.
Yeah, you just, lock your door.
It didn't get giant by nothing, right? So it would be hard to defend, because if it lives here, and it's giant, it's obviously survived a long time, so he might be hard to detect.
Unless it was dropped off from a plane.
Or, like, just weirdly got its way up here in the summer or something. But, like, I mean, he lived in the desert.
Yeah.
So...
He traveled through the Northlands.
Did he do it personally, or did he send his armies?
He was there when Conan's village was killed.
He probably stayed in human form.
You would assume so.
I would stay in human form. Like, it doesn't help a lot.
I mean, just to be the figurehead.
Mittens fit a lot better when you're not a snake.
You don't need mittens, you just need one tube sock.
One tube sock?
Yeah. Just one.
One really long.
One really big tube sock.
That's all you need.
That got weird.
Yeah. Really, really quickly.
All right, moving on.
All right, let's talk about science stuff. Quantum teleportation entanglement things.
All right, so the Chinese just beat the record for longest quantum teleportation. They teleported a photon from the Gobi Desert to an orbiting satellite several hundred kilometers away.
Named Mysius after the 5th century BC philosopher.
Okay. That has very little to do with it.
I read the article, and I'm giving my knowledge because that's all I can contribute to this.
So, what they did is, it's not real teleportation, as in the object does not go from one location to another. Instead, they quantumly entangle two particles and transpose the properties of one onto the other.
Right, so as our good buddy James Roberts from the Battle Bridge podcast rightly pointed out on Twitter, it's not teleportation, it's entanglement.
Well, it's quantum. That's what quantum teleportation is. Because once there is no distinguishing the first particle from the second particle.
Yeah, because the information is transferred instantly.
Yeah, and that information is indistinguishable. You cannot tell the difference. So it's effectively teleported.
Yeah.
Now we're speaking of a single photon.
Right, it's not a person being transferred from the desert to the space station.
Exactly. So we're a long ways, because like everybody's like speculating, like, oh, this is going to lead to us being able to do that and this and that. I'm like, no. We're a long ways away from that. We can move a single photon.
700 miles.
Yeah. That's not that impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But even in the 90s, they thought that was impossible. Like, that was...
Well, no,
it was highly improbable.
The people that work in the field of quantum mechanics, they know that anybody that says this is impossible doesn't understand quantum physics. Quantum physics says, yes, it's possible, but how likely is it?
Yeah. Okay, highly improbable.
Yes.
And yet here it is.
So, it's an impressive feat.
It is.
It's an advancement. I think it's less likely that this is going to lead to teleportation, and a better application would be
unlimited computing power.
Actually, so it has to do with computers. Network connections that it doesn't matter how far you are from the source. So your phone would never be at a range anywhere.
Good, because
the universe.
Because I want to update my Twitter from the moon. Very, very important that I tell people that it's really dark out here.
Yeah, that could lead to that.
Well, it's just like...
Or it's very bright.
It's cold, bring me a blanket.
That would be a good thing on top of that, just because, like, it's like, okay, well, you can teleport, quote-unquote, a photon, but, like, my telephone can't connect when my door is closed and I'm outside in the backyard.
You need a better phone.
Yeah, but if they have a quantumly entangled particle set as the communication device in your phone...
Yeah, that's what I mean, is that would be a better use of it.
Yep. No matter where you are in the universe, you can make a call. There will be lag time, though.
Well, that's understandable. There's always going to be lag time.
But, from here to the moon, it's only a second.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
No.
I'm still not going to the moon.
What? Why not?
But you can make phone calls now.
Yeah. Or then. Not now.
Yeah, you could make phone calls then.
You can make phone calls now.
I can. I can do it without being on the moon.
You can do it from the moon.
I don't want to be on the moon.
There is a transmitter block that you can get for your phone.
Yeah.
That's powerful enough to transmit from the moon.
That's impressive.
Yep.
Have to get there first.
Hey,
why would you not want to go to the moon?
Yeah.
I'm announcing a Rusted Robot GoFundMe. We want to build a rocket to take Katie to the moon.
I don't want to go to the moon.
And that's why we have to fund it for ourselves.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go.
Why are you so adamant about not going to the moon?
I like staying in places where there are air.
Where there's air?
Yeah, like I would not go to that hotel that's under the ocean.
Oh, well, there's air there. You have to import it, but it's there.
But I like going places where, like, if I am without a suit or if there is a leak in my domicile, I will still have air.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you will not go to an inflatable space hotel?
No.
Because that's not on the moon. It's just orbiting.
No.
No, eh?
No.
Oh.
Josh is really set on going to Mars.
I don't understand your problem. Because the Earth is effectively just a ball of air. There's nothing around it. Therefore, you accept it on that scale. What scale would you accept it on? How big of a starship do I have to make before you'd accept it?
I'm not going anywhere.
She's refusing.
So
I'm just staying here. Also, I'm very frugal. I don't like the idea of building something that'll cost a lot of money.
A 3 by 3 by 3 kilometer cube, would you go on that?
No. No.
That's a really big
cube.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
That wasn't chosen at random either.
No?
That's a board cube.
I want to stay.
3 kilometers.
3 kilometers by 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers.
Is that how big they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, how do you not know this, Sean?
Because I don't care. Yeah.
But you were aboard.
I watched Star Trek and I know that.
Yeah? Did you know that?
I did.
That it was 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers? Yeah. That seems awful big.
Well, think how big the Enterprise is.
How big is the Enterprise?
Oh my god!
how many meters is it?
Your house is full of the Enterprises.
I don't have the specs.
Just shy kilometer, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's pretty big.
Is it? Yeah, it might be. All right, maybe it is 3
and then
kilometers.
The cube just dwarfs it.
That is true.
Also, it's really flat.
Yeah.
The Enterprise is really, like, limited in its space capacity.
It's got quite a few people in there. It's got like 1,200.
I know. But, like, a cube... Like, I get why the board made it a cube.
Would you live in a Dyson sphere?
I don't want to live anywhere that's not Earth. I don't know why. I'll bet you that's my hoarder attitude. I'm just sentimentally attached to the ball of Earth.
All right.
Would you live in, like, the Jetsons kind of thing?
I don't know.
And work for Spacely Sprockets?
I really like the Jetsons and I like watching it, but I dislike the idea of that... Okay, none of them can fly without a jetpack, right?
Well, obviously, they're humans.
Yeah.
Humans don't fly.
But their jetpacks come off really easy, and, like, everything they have is just attached to, like, a little pointy thing attached to another thing, or it's just, like, floating, but if you fall off of that thing, you die. Like, I imagine, like, the spot at the bottom, which is closest to their planet, that all of their houses lift off from in the mornings when they wake up, it's just littered with corpses. I just imagine, like, just there's accidents and everybody's just quiet about it because they're down below.
You know what? If they made an R-rated Jetsons movie that was them going down to the planet and exploring, I would watch that.
642.
642 meters?
642.5 meters long.
Is the Enterprise.
D. Yeah.
Okay. 642. And is it 1,000 meters? That's a kilometer? And that's
kilometer.
Yeah. Kilometer.
Yeah. Kilo. 1,000.
Yeah, kilo. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And this is 642.
Yeah.
So that's more than half a kilometer.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, and... all right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a big show.
I really want to watch this Jetsons horror movie now.
I'll start writing it.
Okay.
It'll be weird, too, because it'll still be very, like...
Lighthearted?
Well, everybody who's, like, the cast will be, like, lighthearted, and they'll still talk, like, Leave It to Beaver family. Yeah. But then they'll go down below, and there'll be, like, zombie creatures and corpses everywhere, and giant mutant rats, which is why they lift off of the planet every morning.
Who would
and they'd be like, golly gee, this place is awful!
Do you know why the towers keep getting higher in the Jetsons?
No. I assume it's to escape the corpses.
Pollution. Instead of solving the pollution problem, they just make their higher towers a little bit taller. Because, pollution's getting too bad.
What if the pollution...
Below is the Flintstones.
Yes.
So it causes mutants.
Rosie would go crazy. She'd be running around trying to clean up all the bodies and stuff.
Rosie the robot? Oh dear.
Who would play her? And who would play George Jetson?
I don't know. Rosie's the robot, so anybody could play her as long as they could put on a good robot Jersey accent.
Yeah, it's...
George Jetson would be Tim Allen.
He's too old.
It'd be great. I
Yeah,
would
he's
watch
getting
it.
to grandfather range.
If you got him...
But he has like those permanent lines on his forehead. They're just...
If you got him from like Home Improvement, that would be perfect.
The girl from Nanny.
Fran Drescher.
Yeah.
Would play the robot voice?
The robot.
Rosie.
Yeah,
that-
she would
that
be
would work.
adorable. She would be super cute as Rosie Robot.
Wait, is Fran Drescher the one with the really nasally voice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Annoyingly so.
You know that little blonde boy who was like in that movie? He was like in every movie for a little bit. Who's the one that saw Dead People?
Yeah, him.
No, he's old now.
Yeah, I know, but when he was little, because like we're turning Tim Allen back into young Tim Allen.
So we want to cast 90s?
Yes. Well, I think he would have made a good Elroy, wouldn't he?
The kid from Stuart Little would have made a decent Elroy.
Yeah, he would have made a good Elroy.
Too old now. We'd have to get a...
We're youngifying people.
We're putting them through the transmogrifier. De-aging them.
What about that weird stuff that you can give to rats that makes them young again?
It doesn't make them young again. It makes them not old anymore. There's a difference.
That sounds like the same thing to me.
Not old anymore?
Okay, so it will make them go back to peak physical trait. You can't tell the difference between a 1-year-old rat and a 3-year-old rat, but it won't make them a child rat again.
Oh, okay. I
Because
see.
you've grown up, but then you start getting old. You're mature. You take this stuff, it brings it back to just being mature.
Why have they not made this for humans?
They're
They
making
have
it for humans.
They have to test it.
Everything takes time.
Josh really wants it.
Me too.
Like, I don't know if I want it.
I'll go young again.
Yes.
See, I'd take
not
it,
old.
but I'd just stay the same.
And it's not an injection, it's a food supplement.
Perfect. I'll take 2.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a sweet curmudgeon-y old lady someday.
You are a sweet, curmudgeonly old lady.
It's true. You're just young.
I just look good for a sweet curmudgeon-y old lady.
You look pretty good for 84.
That's just my joints and my hobbies.
I come home, you're sitting there crocheting on the couch, wrapped up in a blanket.
Drinking a cup of tea?
Yeah.
Chamomile?
No. I like English tea.
Hey, did anybody catch Tuesday's episode of Jeopardy?
No.
No?
No, I don't watch TV anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't watch it either, but all over social media was the fact that Jeopardy is not a stranger to Star Trek. Viewers pointed out that the second round of Jeopardy included 2 categories by themselves weren't all that conspicuous. One was covering Shaka, the Zulu king and conqueror. The other was about war and conquest. However, when their powers were combined, they took on a whole new meaning, one that seemed very tailor-made for die-hard Star Trek fans. The last 2 categories were Shaka and When the Walls Fell.
That's pretty sweet.
Isn't that awesome?
Yep.
His arms wide.
Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra.
Yeah.
You don't get it at all, do you?
I do not.
It is one of Josh's favorite episodes of Star Trek, and I have seen that one more than any other one.
Episode 2, Season 5, Star Trek The Next Generation. Go watch it. It's called Darmok. It's in my top 5 favorite episodes of all time.
Yeah, it's right up there, man.
It is really good, but it would be better if you watched the whole thing first and grew to like the characters before you just jump into that episode.
No, just watch that episode.
No,
You
you
could.
gotta watch all of them.
Oh, yeah, but
But you're gonna enjoy that one.
yeah,
Okay.
it's eminently enjoyable.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
And
Weird stuff
you'll
happens.
quote it for the rest of your life. I do all the time.
It's within my top 5.
Yes, definitely.
All the Barkley episodes.
Oh, yeah, Barkley's great.
I don't
You'll
think,
like
I don't think I have Barkley in any of my top 5s.
No?
No.
All of his episodes are my favorite episodes.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're pretty great.
So, just according to the article I found here, Shaka When the Walls Fell is a reference to Star Trek The Next Generation Season 5 episode Darmok. This episode, a favorite of fans and critics alike, is about Captain Jean-Luc Picard learning to communicate with an alien race called the Children of Tama, who speak an allegorical language incompatible with Starfleet's Universal Translator. The episode brilliantly tackles differences in language and thought and the power of compassion and understanding. What's not to love?
Sounds good.
Yeah. So there you go. Now you know. Go watch it. Darmok.
All right.
It's on Netflix.
Wait, I have a question for both of you.
All right.
Because I've been looking at the different seasons and stuff.
Okay.
Picard
Mm-hmm.
or...
Kirk?
Yes.
Picard is the better captain. The original series has the better episodes overall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kirk is more entertaining to watch. Like, he breaks all the Prime directives all the time. They're like, Captain, we suggest doing this. And he's like, screw that, we're doing this instead. And he's like, what about the Prime Directive? And he's like, screw the Prime Directive. I don't think he actually ever said that, but everybody knew that's what he was thinking.
That's a paraphrase, but
yeah.
Screw the Prime Directive, I'm going to screw this green girl.
Yep, pretty much. And they're like, Captain, what about the Prime Directive? And he's like, nope, urges.
Pretty much all I know about Captain Kirk is that he breaks rules and that he has relations with multicolored women.
Not as often as you'd think, actually.
No?
It's more of a stereotype.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
He does kiss them a lot.
There's a lot of kissing.
I'm sure if
Definitely
they
a lot of
didn't
kissing.
die shortly after the kiss, he probably would have tried to have relations with them. Like, it was clear that's where he intended it to go. He's probably been celibate for years because everybody he kisses dies, except for Uhura, who was never going to have him anyway.
So Kirk has the kiss of death?
Yep.
Yeah, not everybody can fall in love with a robot.
What?
You gotta watch.
Requiem for Methuselah, the android Reyna.
I will have to check that out then.
You will have to.
Like, the best episodes of Star Trek are definitely in the original series. But put the two captains together and Picard is the better captain.
Okay, here's a question. 1-on-1 death match between Kirk and Picard.
Picard.
Are they fighting each other?
Yep.
Picard actually knows fighting, where Kirk does Kirk Fu.
The flying Haya.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got the two-handed punch.
The double axe handle.
Yeah, that is, it's fun to watch, but like, Picard would just punch him in the throat. He would go down.
Kirk has to be larger physically, though. Like he's
larger, yeah.
He's got to have some like weight and muscle.
Yeah, he's barrel chested.
Yeah.
And Picard's like taller and skinnier.
Yeah.
But like he knows like actual fighting moves.
Also depends on where you take them.
Didn't he fight Klingons at some point?
Yes, he fought Klingons. He also fought Nausicaans. He lost badly, but he fought Nausicaans.
Yeah.
But
they stabbed him.
And Kirk was out saving the galaxy when Picard's grandpa was still in diapers.
But you take them at their peak. So let's say the strongest Kirk has ever been.
Yeah.
Right? At his physically best, and we take Picard at his physical best.
Star Trek First Contact.
No. Best of both worlds.
As Borg? As Locutus?
As Locutus.
All right.
He wins hands down. If you take them at their peaks, Picard wins.
Well, I feel like having him as part of the Borg fight him.
He was a part of the Borg. No, that's the thing. If you take them at their peaks, that's when he was at his peak. Now, if you want to take Picard at his peak, that we see him, we see young Picard in one episode where he fights two Nausicaans to a standstill until the third one stabs him in the back.
Yeah, they only win because one stabs him through the heart when he's not paying attention.
Where he then breaks out into laughter.
This would be more impressive if I knew what Nausicaans were.
They're about 7 foot tall, beefy, very aggressive aliens.
Okay.
They're not unlike Klingons, but they have no honor.
Yeah.
Which is why they're okay with fighting 3-on-1 and stabbing you in the back.
Okay, so 1-on-1 Picard wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take the cruise, next gen wins.
But Kirk is more fun to watch. I will agree with you there. Yeah. He's fun. You never know if he's going to die. He never does, but yeah, that's what it looks like all the time. He's going to kill them all.
The only spot where if you go compare crew to crew, where original series wins is in the engineering department. Everywhere else, next gen wins.
Because Scotty's a milk worker.
Yeah. You got, on the bridge, you got First Officer, Spock versus Riker. Riker wins as a better First Officer.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's a better First Officer. Because he's a counterpoint to the captain, whereas Spock is a logic machine.
Spock is a counterpoint to their captain.
But he never defies the captain in the same way that Riker does.
Because logic dictates that you don't defy your captain.
Exactly. You go science officer. You got Spock. You got Data. Spock says he's all about logic, but he's not.
Data's actually all logic. That's all he's programmed for.
Yeah, he can't feel at all. Spock has to suppress his feelings. Also, if you go one-on-one, in a hand-to-hand fight, nobody beats Data in any of the episodes, period.
Yeah, you can take down Borg. He just walks up to two of them and, grabs their arms and flips them.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the most physically powerful character in the entire series.
Yeah, also nobody can lift him. He's super heavy.
Yeah. Then you go navigation officer. So Chekhov versus Wesley.
Chekhov's gonna win there.
Chekhov's not gonna win. Yeah. Chekhov gets knocked out at the slightest breeze. Or goes insane at the slightest twinge of space-time.
I like Chekhov. I liked Wesley too, but he's just a little kid.
No, you know what? There's another spot that would be, because the equivalent of Uhura on the bridge, because they don't need a communications officer anymore. So the equivalent of the bridge
is Worf, because he's always at the communications.
Oh, that would be sad!
Actually, that would be him. I was going to say Diana would be her equivalent. But no.
There is no equivalent to
Uhura
Diana.
versus Worf?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know that much, but I know she doesn't stand a chance.
Unless she has some fans, then she might have a chance.
She could do a fan dance. Star Trek 5, 1989.
Okay. I've heard of the fan dance.
I feel like Worf would be like, I'm not fighting her. And she'd be like, I'm okay with this. And they would just sit. And then they'd suggest to the others, they'd be like, maybe you guys could come to an agreement where you wouldn't fight either. And they'd be like, no, Worf.
And in Star Trek 6, Uhura needed the books to speak Klingon. Well, Worf could actually speak Klingon.
Deutsch words or no, read.
We must respond personally. A universal translator would be recognized.
Deutsch words or no, read. Deutsch words or no, read.
Dogs Asfama. Shahorva. Kronos Vol. Grant.
Nuta gross. Rin. Nuta gross. Rin. Nuta gross. Rin.
What is your destination? Over.
Penteda. Souls. Dos. Cavet. Vikich. Ren.
Ome suho. Ha ha ha.
So you think they might have a Klingon off?
They might. A Klingon off.
It's like a rap battle in Klingon between the two of them.
It would be hard.
Hey, now speaking of the differences between crews and stuff, didn't you say there was a great big fight between Star Trek and Star Wars fans?
There was. Down in Oklahoma City, two men were playing video games together in a homeless shelter.
Okay. I didn't know that detail.
And it was a housing thing for youth homeless.
All right.
So they got into a dispute over them and a group of other people over Star Trek versus Star Wars. Bradley Warren Burke and Jerome Dwayne White.
They both sound like serial killers.
Yeah, well, it's because they gave the full three names. So they got in an argument about Star Trek and Star Wars. So this is the first Burke. Burke said he was saying that Spock was the and I was saying that Yoda was the he told ours. After that, everything went to hell. So he left because he didn't want to be in this anymore.
Right.
And he followed him to his room.
Okay.
And they got in a fist fight.
Uh-huh.
And then he pulled his knife on him.
Oh.
So Jerome pulled his knife on Burke.
Yeah.
But he ended up cutting himself rather than cutting Burke.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
And so he's been charged with several transgressions, assault, breaking the peace, I think, and possession of marijuana, because,
Why not?
Yeah, assault and battery, possession of marijuana, and he was taken to county jail. Neither man has immediately responded for comment after that.
So
I'm surprised they didn't respond with like, Yoda is the No.
So which one's better, Star Trek or Star Wars? Did we find out?
It depends what you're watching for.
Yeah, you can't compare them. They're both good.
Yeah.
I guess I can't really compare because I haven't watched the one, but...
Star Wars is a fun, light action.
It's sci-fantasy.
Yeah.
Star Trek is dealing with deep thoughts and deep meanings.
Unless you watch the new movies.
Yeah, new movies are... If you're going to watch the new movies, might as well just watch Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars is better for that.
That's understandable, because really all I know is Star Wars. But I have seen the new Star Trek movies, and I didn't hate them. Like, as just action flicks, they're fun to watch.
Yeah, stuff blows up. It's in space.
There's aliens, there's spaceships, there's explosions. What more do you want?
Star Wars.
Deep philosophical meaning.
Yeah, but if you're just looking for
about the
action,
universe,
well,
the nature of humanity.
What does God need with a starship?
Exactly.
But like, if you just want action, explosions, aliens, and the space battles, Star Wars already has all of that, and they're doing a better job.
Oh, there you go.
The new movies, do they ask a single question about the nature of humanity? No. They rehash an existing movie that is by far the best Star Trek movie.
Yeah, but even in the newest Star Trek one, like the one with
Beyond
Idris Elba and stuff, yeah. Like, they kind of look at...
And Jayla. Jayla.
They give a superficial look. If you want, watch the original series episode, Let This Be Your Last Battlefield. That is the gold of sci-fi. That is the best television sci-fi there has been so far.
Which one is the one that I love the most, where he winds up learning to play that little tin flute?
The Inner Light.
The Inner Light, yeah.
That one's my favorite.
That's another good one.
That's terribly sad. It's so good, though. I can't give anything away. It's so good.
I've never heard of The Inner Light. However,
it's
like,
a Picard
even without
episode.
seeing the show, I've heard of The Last Battlefield. Like, I think the only episodes I know the titles of are The Battlefield and...
For the world is hollow and I have touched the sky.
No, Trouble with Tribbles.
All right.
Ah, yeah. Well, that one's just fun.
More troubles, and trials and tribulations.
I got 99 problems, and a tribble is all of them.
Yes.
But yeah, no, those are actually 3 episodes about tribbles.
Okay.
Yeah, one's a live action, one's a cartoon, and one's a sequel.
Because I know Star Wars has actually spoofed tribbles. In Knights of the Old Republic, on the original Xbox, when you landed in a spaceport, somebody accidentally breaks a box of these little creatures called Gizak. And they get into your ship, and there's 1 or 2 of them, and then you leave the ship and you go off and you do your stuff, and when you come back, the whole ship is just full.
Yeah.
And if you try to get rid of them, more of them show up, and they just keep coming and coming and coming, and they're everywhere.
Did you guys see the trailer for Marvel's and Netflix Defenders?
You have interrupted a citywide investigation. You stole evidence from my crime scene. And you got my one lead killed. I was trying to help him, but you didn't.
Jessica Jones, stop talking.
Who the hell are you?
My name is Matthew Murdoch. I'm your attorney.
How does being Harlem's hero allow you to live an actual life?
Right now, I just want to help people.
I think there's someone that you need to meet.
Hey, what are you doing in there? Who are you? Who are you? How come you can't be hurt? What's the deal with that fist? I'm the immortal Iron Fist. You what?
You're on the same side.
You 4. The devil of Hell's Kitchen. The smart-ass detective.
We got a problem?
The righteous ex-con.
My bad.
And the kid with a glowing fist.
Yes, I want you to be.
The war for New York is here.
Yes, I know enemy.
So get your together.
The more connections you have, the easier it will be to break you. You look like an idiot.
It's your scarf. We make quite a team.
No.
What are you talking about? Bulletproof. Blind ninja. Whatever it is you are.
Classy.
We did.
Yes.
What did you guys think?
I think it's going to be a great anniversary this year.
A great anniversary, do tell.
It's coming out on mine and Katie's wedding anniversary.
Is that August 18th?
That's August 18th.
Oh, nice.
So we are going to be watching that.
Watching Defenders?
For your anniversary.
Yeah, that's okay. The day when we got married, after we got married, we had to get married the next day also.
Oh.
And then after that, we were so exhausted, we just watched Stargate. And then we went to bed. So, like, our anniversary usually just consists of watching shows.
Okay. Well, Defenders, it's got Jessica Jones, it's got Daredevil, it's got Iron Fist, and it's got Luke Cage, and they're a team up after it looks like a bit of animosity between them.
Well, you got the built-in animosity between Luke Cage and Jessica Jones because of the mind control thing and killing his wife under the mind control thing.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
If you haven't watched it by now.
You're not going to watch this anyway, so... Yeah.
Yeah. So you got that whole
dynamic.
Hullabaloo.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Fist doesn't really have any contact with that world. He kind of does through the lawyer and kind of does, but not really.
Yeah.
You got no crossover before.
Just Claire.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, and his lawyer. His lawyer was the lady lawyer.
Right.
Who...
Trinity from The Matrix.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry, that's her name.
Right.
Jerry Hallworth. And so, yeah.
But can they stand up to Ripley? I don't think they can take on Sigourney Weaver. She's awesome.
She is awesome. I love her as an actress. But she dies in a lot of movies.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
She pretty much dies anytime she's a villain.
Yeah, but now
hard.
she's going to be in TV. Yeah. It's not going to be a movie. Maybe it'll be totally different.
No, I think she's going to go down hard.
Yeah, well, she might. But she looks cool while doing it.
Like, have you seen Paul?
Yes.
She dies pretty hard in that.
Spoiler alert.
The movie's great.
That is a great
movie. It is
movie.
great.
I like Sigourney.
The only reason she died in Alien 3, was because she asked to.
Yeah, she suicided.
Yeah, she's like, it doesn't make sense for me to live past this point. We need to finish it. So they killed her. And even then they brought her back.
And did you see the poster for The Punisher?
No.
Yes.
Cool, right?
It's a really cool poster.
Yeah, looking forward to that one too.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think out of all of the TV shows,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to The Punisher the most.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Should be interesting. I don't know when it comes out. But they just finished filming for Avengers Infinity War.
Yep.
That just wrapped this week.
Yep.
So that's cool.
I enjoy all of the Marvel movies. I enjoy Avengers a lot. They're fun.
They are fun.
Spider-Man Homecoming is the second largest Sony opening weekend ever. Still only behind Spider-Man 3.
Isn't it better than Spider-Man 3?
It is, but just grossing on the opening weekend.
Yeah, so because the opening weekend will tell you how a movie's doing, but it won't tell you how it does within the next month.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
This movie's already passing where Spider-Man 3 was, simply because it's been out for a while now, and people are going back to watch it.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it yet.
I've seen it
I
twice.
would like to.
And don't you work at some kind of store?
Yes, I work at a comic book store.
A comic book store.
The best comic book store.
The best comic book store in Timmins?
Yes.
What's it called again?
It's Jump City at 229 Pine Street South, Timmins, Ontario.
Right. And as a responsible proprietor of a comic book store, shouldn't you watch all the comic book movies?
No.
What?
If you want to go, I'll take you.
Technically, as a responsible comic book proprietor, my only duty is to know about what comic books are coming out.
Yeah, but don't you want to have more information? Don't you want to go above and beyond?
Often the movies are disappointing in comparison to the comic books.
No, I will go a third time.
I'm just saying often. I still enjoy going to watch comic book movies, but I'm just saying comic books themselves hold more weight with me
I
than
agree.
the movies.
I agree, but the movie is fantastic.
I would still love to go and see the movie. I just mean
There's still time.
I don't have to be a good comic book store owner.
In the next couple movies, if Tom Holland has his way, we might actually see Tobey Maguire as well.
That would be great.
Yeah, he wants him to come back and play Uncle Ben in some kind of a flashback.
That would be kind of interesting.
I think that'd be really cool.
I'd say. And didn't you say that Tom Holland and the girl who played MJ are dating in real life? Why are you looking at me like that? You told me.
Yeah, but that movie just came out, and I feel like...
We didn't say who the actress was.
That's true, yes. Apparently that is a thing.
Okay. I was just
Apparently
making sure.
Sean's all about spoilers. Surprise!
Yeah, we should just put a big spoiler alert at the beginning of this episode.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of movies that have just come out, last night I went to see War for the Planet of the Apes.
How was it?
It was fantastic.
Was it as good as the old Planet of the Apes?
It might be better than the old Planet of the Apes.
Better?
Well, it's on par. Yeah, it was.
Really?
It was excellent.
How does it match up with the two that came before it?
Better than.
Better?
Better than.
Because those were pretty good.
Those were great.
I don't mean those ones, though. I mean, like, the old ones.
You can't beat 1968's Charlton Heston Fest.
Okay, so no, it's not.
It's as good as.
What,
but
really?
in a different way.
Does it make you cry?
I don't cry, but if I did...
Yeah, I don't cry.
but if I did cry, I might cry at this movie.
Oh, yeah?
It made you feel sadness. It made you feel happiness.
How much sadness?
A sufficient amount of sadness.
Did you watch that Planet of the Apes movie where... Is it Zira and Cornelius who are there and they have to give up the baby? You remember
That's one of the sequels, yeah.
That one made me cry so hard.
So hard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch any more movies after that one. And I
Okay.
think it's the last one. That's how they ended the Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah.
So sad.
Well, this one here was about 2 hours and 20 minutes, but it didn't feel like it. It was an action fest, but it wasn't all fast-paced action. There was some quiet scenes, but nothing dragged. It was perfect. I give it a 10 out of 10 rivets. Best movie of the summer.
Best movie of the
Better than
summer?
Spider-Man, better than Wonder Woman.
Oh, really?
I will go watch it tomorrow then.
Absolutely fantastic. You can't beat it.
Andy Serkis is doing a really good job.
Andy Serkis is amazing. Even you would like it, Josh.
He hasn't seen the other two.
He doesn't need to see the other two.
Okay, but how is Woody Harrelson?
He's good.
Yeah?
He does a good job. He didn't remind me of Woody from Cheers at all.
He's good in a lot of things, actually.
I really like him. Like, the fact that he's going to be in the Han Solo movie, I like that too.
Alright, moving on.
Go see it. The Rusted Robot officially recommends War for the Planet of the Apes.
Did you give your star rating?
Yeah, 10 out of 10. It's a perfect movie.
No, it's not.
It's a perfect movie!
It's a perfect movie. As far as I'm concerned, you can't beat it. It's good. It's awesome. It's right up there.
There is no such thing as a perfect
I know, I'm not saying it's flawless.
Well, then it can't be a 10 out of 10.
It's a 10 out of 10.
Godfather 2.
It's not a perfect movie. It's a boring-ass movie.
I've never seen any of the Godfathers.
You, sir, are wrong.
Oh, God, that movie is so boring. I have never made it through without falling asleep.
Empire Strikes Back?
A very good movie. There is no perfect movie. The highest movie should ever be able to get is 9.5. And the lowest a movie should ever be able to get, so long as there's motion in the movie, is
Half a
0.5.
star. Yeah.
Okay, what would you give 9.5 then?
I give Empire a 9.5.
Okay, at least we're... okay.
Actually, I'd give that a 9.
What would you give 9.5, is what he was asking them.
Yeah.
You can give War for the Poda a 9.5. I give it a 10.
Oh, you know what I would give 9.5?
What?
Jaws. Freaking love Jaws.
Jaws, it's good, but it's...
I think your boat is sufficiently large enough.
I love it so much. Like the first Jaws movie. Like, I love all of them, but the first Jaws movie.
You know what? I cannot stand Jaws 2.
Goonies.
Goonies? Goonies is a good choice.
Yes.
Star Trek First Contact is a 9.5.
It's an 8.
Oh, I love it. It's my favorite.
It's a good... I enjoy it.
There's some continuity errors and whatnot, but whatever.
Yeah. But you know him with continuity errors, things like that.
Speaking of the Goonies, Sean Astin, who was obviously Mikey in the Goonies, is going to be part of Stranger Things now. He's going to be the love interest of Winona Ryder's character.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
I love her.
Beginning of September, Fan Expo is in Toronto. I will be there.
You will be.
I will be.
Oh, you'll have to give us a report. You'll have to go into a lineup with anybody famous that you want to get an autograph from, and in your phone say, "This is so-and-so from the Rusted Robot Podcast."
Hi, this is Admiral Adama, Battlestar Galactica, saying, you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Some kind of quote, some kind of thing.
Yeah, we need a snippet.
Yeah.
The entire cast of... well, the entire main cast of Stranger Things is supposed to be there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. Them, like, pretty much the whole cast of Rocky Horror Picture Show is going to be there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw that.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty excited.
Dustin is my favorite character.
We'll have to look at the list and see who we'd like to get a poll quote
Yeah,
from.
we'll have to do
Tim
that.
Curry.
Yeah, Tim Curry's great.
He's
I don't
good.
know, yeah.
He doesn't fit, though. We'd have to see what you got.
Yeah.
On the moon!
There you go. There you go.
Moving on.
All right.
I believe we have some communication coming in.
We do,
Oh,
Captain.
wait.
What?
First, I have a little bit of news about a comic book.
Spit it out, woman.
Okay, so, what is your favorite thing about the summer? Camping, right?
Yes, camping.
Yes, camping is generally what people associate with their best times in summer. My favorite thing about camping is all the ghost stories that you tell around the campfire. And there is a comic book that has been out for a little while. Issue 13 comes out this coming Wednesday. But the first volume is now available to purchase. It is called Black-Eyed Kids.
Ah.
The writer is Joe...
DiMaggio?
Nope,
Okay.
Purette. And the artist is Seisman Kudransky. I might have accidentally ruined his name. The colorist is Guy Major, and the letterer is Marshall Dillon. And the regular cover artist is Francisco Francavilla. That's a fun name.
That's totally fun.
Okay, so the whole premise of the beginning of the book is that it starts off like an urban legend on the internet. This is actually how it was originally. It appeared on the internet as like an urban legend, and somebody took the idea and ran with it as a comic book.
Huh.
So it's like, it's dark, you're alone, then there's a knock. You open the door to find two seemingly normal kids. They ask to come in and borrow your phone to call for a ride. You find yourself overcome with an intense fear that you can't explain, and then you notice their eyes. Black. Solid black. You want to run, but now they're inside. It's too late. They have you. It's so creepy and so good.
It sounds creepy.
Yeah. And it's like an entire comic book now based on like this urban legend that started on the internet.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And that's at your comic book store? Can we buy it?
You can order it through my store. We don't have any copies left.
Oh, because it's that good.
Yeah.
Sold out.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Thanks for sharing with that.
You are welcome.
Awesome. Are we ready for some email?
Yes.
Okay, let me go to pull up some email here for us.
Get what we got, Mr. Roboto. It's another email.
Create a Dungeon Master is the title of the email. Good afternoon, jacked up Johnny Fives. Hope you had a great week and are ready for some quandaries, questions, and queries that are downright quizzical. First up, Guns would like to know what type of character do you create if prompted in video games or tabletop scenarios? Ones that look like you and act like you, or wildly opposite to you, or maybe just a character that fits the story. Personally, when playing games, I'll play as the female option because generic hero man gets quite boring and there are not enough strong female characters that are written into a good story.
So that's a hard question to answer because I've been playing RPGs, tabletops, since I was 15.
Yeah.
So ask me, well, what's the kind of thing you create? I've been kind of everything.
Uh-huh.
I've been a little boy, a little girl, a teenage boy, a teenage girl, an adult boy, an adult girl, an old man, an old woman. I've been a genderless blob. I've been a shape-shifting monster. I've been a tentacle beast with multi-genders. So it doesn't really fall. I've kind of been everything.
Okay. I generally pick a strong female character with badass armor. Generally, in a video game, if I'm going to create a character with the long ponytail.
The dashing rogue.
Yeah. It's a good option.
Male, female?
Usually male.
And Katie?
I'm like Josh in that I have been playing for a very long time. For the most part, I usually play a girl, just because it comes more naturally to me.
Well,
but two of my favorite characters are boys.
Oh, there you go. Okay, next question. Sparky would like to know how one goes about getting into D&D. What's the best entry-level stories and group sizes, and what are the general length of campaigns? If you can, what are your hours logged as a player and DM? This is for you, Josh.
Okay, so, like I said, I've been playing since I've been 15. Most of that time I was in high school, we were playing for hour to 2.5 hour sessions once a week. And after that, we started playing once a week for about 4 hour sessions. The longest campaign I've been in lasted about 3 years. The longest campaign I've run lasted about 8 years. So, like, they go for a long time. Hours logged, a few hundred.
Probably
Few
more
thousand.
than that. Probably more like a few thousand.
Yeah.
We've been playing for at least 17 years, at least 2 games a week, because it averages out, because at one point we were playing 4 games a week, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Lots
of hours. Getting started, a group size of about 4 players plus 1 DM is ideal.
That's how I got in.
You have enough players that you're not getting too bogged down and like, oh, we don't have somebody who can do this. You can kind of space everybody's skill set out so that everybody can do something. But there's not so many players that a DM who's new can't get into the game. They can't, like, oh, I'm focusing on him too much and this person's being ignored. So there's that option. Like, you need to have enough people that the players feel comfortable, but not too many that the DM can't pay attention to what everybody's saying.
Right.
Largest group I've ever run was 14 people, and that was way too many.
It sounds
I
like
literally, there's 3 conversations going on at the same time, and like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I need to be able to track what's happening in the world as the person running the world. If I can't track it, I can't keep up.
Right.
We wound up having like sub-GMs.
Yeah.
That would man that group. So like they couldn't go on to do something else without the okay of the head GM.
Mm-hmm.
But like little things could be controlled by like the sub-GM, who was also a player.
Yeah.
But then eventually we broke it up into like 3 separate groups and played it separately. Because that was crazy. That was too much.
Ideal is 4, particularly for a new GM. 4 is perfect. I wouldn't go more than 6 for a new GM.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go as few as 2 players, 1 GM.
Okay.
Never play a one-on-one game, because then it becomes adversarial.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Either that or it becomes Monty Hall, where you have the perfect warrior that can never be stopped. Best case scenario, 4, no less than 2, no more than 6 for a new DM.
Okay, and when I started back in 2015, you were the DM.
Yeah.
And it was me and Paul and Danny. Was there somebody else?
Little Luke joined.
Little Luke joined, that's right. Yeah, and then Paul was gone and Katie moved in.
Yeah.
That's right. So there's usually 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I said, 4 is ideal.
Yeah. Awesome. Email goes on. Thanks to the podcast. You guys are the best. And here is our character sheet so you can gear up for the campaign. Sparky and Guns. Male vampire. Human necromancers. Their abilities are writing wicked awesome podcast emails. Their weaknesses, Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Sparky and Guns call themselves the first vampires, but the claim seems unlikely. The details of their story are set down in the Tome of Sparky and Guns, with key excerpts presented on page 22. Guns is a tall man standing just over 6 feet. His body is lean and hard, and his gaunt face has strong features and prominent cheekbones. Sparky's eyes are dark and hypnotic like deep pools with subtle reflections of red light, but when he is enraged, they burn like red-hot coals. Their fangs are not obvious unless they want them to be noticed. They can speak and even yawn without revealing their true nature.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, there you go.
All right.
That sounds pretty great. I think my favorite class to play is probably Bard.
Yeah? Do you like to sing?
I like all the wacky things that they can do with their powers.
No.
The Bard is the all-round character. Has a bit of thief skills, bit of magic, bit of fighting. They're the all-round character.
Okay.
But most people consider the Bard the useless character.
Ah.
Yeah, but if you're good at thinking outside the box, you can kill dragons by yourself. As long as you're good at rolling lucky. Only happened one time.
I'm always partial to mages.
Yeah?
Yeah. Class-wise, I give an option, I'll play a mage. They're fun. You get to do more.
Right on.
How about you, Shane?
Usually like a rogue.
Like a thief?
Yeah, like a thief. It's just, you have the utilitarian skills, as well as combat's just more fun, because you have to think about it more.
Plus you get to be sneaky and have things.
Yeah, exactly. Steal all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sean?
Well, I only played the one campaign, and I was a generic human fighter.
Generic human fighter.
Yeah, because I haven't had that much experience with these games, so.
Named Cannon. Cannon fodder.
Cannon fodder.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So you were a red shirt.
No, I became the Dragon Reborn, so not too bad.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
In that other game, Dead Rain, we were just dragging around your unconscious corpse from place to place.
Yeah, well, I think I missed several sessions, so. And speaking of missing several sessions, next week and the week after, there probably won't be a podcast.
Oh.
Because this coming Friday, the 21st, I'm heading to the Sioux, where I'm going to meet up with my brothers, and then we are going to go to the United States of America, and what we're going to do is go to see Blondie and Garbage live in concert.
Interesting.
And go to Cedar Point and go on the roller coasters.
I thought you guys were going to give us a roadcast.
Well, we might do that, but this weekend coming,
Yeah.
there won't be anything, because that'll be travel time and whatever, and there won't be time for that. But on the road, for the week after that, I'll see what I can put out, because I come back probably the Saturday, but it'll be late, so I might have just enough time to edit Sunday morning, whatever we've recorded.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Give us a roadcast.
That's the plan.
All right.
Do you have a hypothetical this week?
I do. Okay, so we talked about Conan this episode. So, what you wake up, you're in a fantasy setting. Which fantasy setting would you like to wake up in?
Like hard fantasy or sci-fi fantasy?
Fantasy setting.
Assuming that in that setting you're not a generic person who just lives there.
You wake up in the setting.
So like generic peasant?
No,
that kind of takes the fun out of it.
You as you are, wake up in that setting.
Oh, I choose legend. Because just a normal human person can wake up and be awesome in that setting. You can like acquire magic, you can acquire skills, and you can be awesome. Because like Tom Cruise's character was like a little piddly nothing human, and he was still kind of a little piddly nothing human at the end.
But he fought the devil.
But he fought the devil and won, so
That's true.
and saved a unicorn.
Well, I was gonna say fairy tale, but if I can't have crazy awesome,
You could acquire them, like Lucy does.
that's true. But Lucy's.
You don't have to be Lucy. You can just take her keys.
You know what? If I have to wake up the way I am now, I'm gonna say One Piece, because then I can just find the fruit, eat the fruit, have awesome powers.
Well, I was going to say Lord of the Rings, because Lord of the Rings. And you told me that I couldn't have Thundercats, because it's always Thundercats?
Peasants never do well in Lord of the Rings.
No, I know.
But you're not a peasant. You're you as you are. So you do bring some skills that they won't have.
I'm a peasant. Oh, I'm a bard.
I would be a bard too, because I host a podcast, so I can tell stories.
I sing and paint and play musical instruments. Oh, I'm useless.
Right. Pretty good.
Yeah, it was not bad.
How about you, Josh?
Yeah, what would you do?
Yeah.
What's the right answer?
What's the right answer?
I would probably go with fairy tale.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Because magic's incredibly easy to
obtain.
Get in that world.
You mean like how you could just knock Lucy over, steal her keys, and they would
No.
be yours?
All you need to start learning magic in that world is to believe you can learn magic.
Is this a
You
comic
want
book
to
or
change your
something?
answer, Shane?
It's an anime.
It's an anime?
That's true.
You could change your answer. You guys would be hilarious together in that crazy ass guild.
You know what? I like fairy tale a lot more than I like One Piece. So yeah.
Plus, you're not confined to a boat to be a main character.
Exactly. And as soon as you eat the fruit, you can't swim. So
You can
you're
be
on
on
the boats. You can't swim.
Can you breathe underwater?
No.
Can you hold your breath a long time?
Decent amount of time. But I mean,
Can you sink to the bottom and run to the shore?
this is adding a lot of variables.
I want to know, like, will you die if you fall in the water? Because most of that show takes place on a boat.
That's the thing. Like, all of these people have eaten the fruit, and they've gotten these crazy powers.
And they
None
can't.
of them can swim. That's a side effect of the fruit. As soon as you eat it, you cannot swim.
Okay, does it make you too heavy to swim, or does it just turn you into, like, a Kermit the Frog who flails about when you hit the water?
I think you just can't. Like, I think you sink.
Oh, okay.
It's
So you
been a
don't just,
while,
like,
but
hit the
I'm
water and
pretty
become a
sure.
moron? Like, because...
Yeah, no,
I can't swim! And then they drown?
I think you just drown, like you sink. So I don't understand why any of them are pirates to begin with. Have the fruit, eat the fruit,
Stay on the
go
land.
to the mainland, stay there.
Yeah, and be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a raider on the road.
Exactly.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard.
I don't understand. Biggest plot hole. I don't understand it.
So you would switch and go to Fairy Tale instead?
Yes.
You guys would both be part of the same guild, I assume? Raid things together? Because Josh would be evil.
We'd be unbeatable. It'd be great.
It sounds great. All right, well, this has been another exciting episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast, episode 161. Thanks for being here again.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Super fun.
And remember, Johnny was a chemist's son, but Johnny is no more. For what Johnny thought was H2O was H2SO4.
If you'd like to contact the show, email us at therustedrobot.gmail.com. Our website is therustedrobot.podbean.com. On Twitter, we're at therustedrobot. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Darth Vaderloo. We'd be honored if you would review us on iTunes and like us on Facebook. If you'd care to support the show, there's a PayPal link on the website, or go to patreon.com/Darth Vaderloo. Please check out Jump City at 229 Pine Street South in Timmins. And as always, if you like what you heard, let us know. But most importantly, tell your friends about us. The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
I could do this all day.
They're consuming our supplies and returning nothing.
Oh, but they do give us something, Mr. Spock. They give us love.
Captain's log commenced, the Starship Enterprise, a trader brought aboard some furry little guys. They're fuzzy, they're fuzzy, they're fuzzy. Uhura picked one up and it gave a little trill. The crew all fell in love. It seemed so great until it had a baby, which had a baby, which had a baby. And they reproduce faster than rabbits on speed. And I realized they're gonna overbreed. Yeah, I knew you were tribbles when you dropped in. So cute and fuzzy, high-pitched screaming when you see a Klingon. 'Cause you think they're scuzzy. I knew you were tribbles when you dropped in. So small and furry, filling cargo spaces that I've never seen. Now I'm lying in a fuzzy ball pit. Oh, oh, tribbles, tribbles, tribbles. Oh, oh, tribbles, tribbles, tribbles. The ship is filling up. It's getting pretty bad. There's Klingons talking crap, and Scotty's getting mad. There's tribbles everywhere. There's tribbles everywhere. There's tribbles everywhere. But he eats some poison grain, and then they start to die. A tribble scream reveals a Klingon in disguise. He put the poison there. He put the poison there. He put the poison there. And the scam is a bust, and the Klingons fly away. And I realize the tribbles saved the day. Yeah, I knew you were tribbles when you dropped in. So cute and fuzzy, high-pitched screaming when you see a Klingon. 'Cause you think that's scuzzy. I knew you were tribbles when you dropped in. So small and furry, filling cargo spaces that I've never seen. Now I'm lying in a fuzzy ball pit. Oh, oh, the tribbles, tribbles, tribbles. Oh, oh, the tribbles, 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 and the little guys. They never hurt no one. They just like to eat and breed and eat till the food was gone. Yeah, I knew you were tribbles when you dropped in.
This has been a Valley of Vanderloo podcast production, all rights reserved.
This transmission ends now.